Our virtual road trip takes us to Montreal.
Montreal!
It's the best. It is such a great city.
Montreal is unique in North America. It's Canada, but it feels like Europe, and it's pretty close to the U.S.
Montreal, the most beautiful city in North America, by the way. If you've never been there, it's just incredible.
I love Montreal. It is my favorite place in Canada. Toronto, Vancouver, I love you, but not like Montreal.
I'm in a city that is one of the most creative in the world. It has spent centuries slowly becoming a living, pulsing work of art.
I'm in Montreal, Canada.
I've not been to Montreal.
Have you ever been to Montreal? No, I haven't been to Montreal.
Well, I understand you spent a little time in Montreal.
No. Last stop, Montreal. The stop is Montreal.
What? Are we really in Montreal?
Yes, we are. So, coffee?
I don't know, I thought it might be nice for you and me to go to Montreal.
Montreal?
Yeah, very romantic.
It is romantic. Like a honeymoon destination.
He's getting married to a very lovely young lady named Sarah. So we need a bachelor weekend.
Maybe Montreal. Very European, and it's only a 2-hour flight.
About 6 weeks ago, we were on our honeymoon. We just started going through the photos the last couple of days. Mr. Castle, I think that's you.
That is me. Where was this photo taken?
Montreal.
Montreal. The hell was I doing in Montreal?
Who are you?
That's my cousin Rob.
Very pleased to meet you.
What part of America are you from?
Montreal.
Can't say I'm familiar with it. Though there is a Montreal in Canada, you know.
What's it matter? We're all banned from Canada.
Au revoir, sweet man-whores of Montreal.
I haven't done anything impulsive, ever. I've never been high, except for that choir trip to Montreal where I accidentally ate a pound of marijuana.
We met making a movie.
The problem was it was shooting in the very sexy Montreal. How could you not dip your pen in company?
Hey now.
Montreal, that place is the best. You guys should come with me sometime. Montreal has the best strip clubs in the world.
I always wanted to go to Canada, but then South Park went, so we couldn't go.
In Montreal. And where, pray, is this Montreal?
There was someone in here from Canada last week.
I hate that country.
Oh, shoot. Quebec's got the bomb.
The cause for a celebration. I'm going to make the most international coffee in the house. Montreal morn.
Some Canadians are French.
Sweet fireball of Montreal.
The butterball from Montreal.
Oh, in Montreal.
Enough with Canada!
All right, boys, prepare yourselves. We're about to enter French Canada.
There's no Canada like French Canada. It's the best Canada in the land. The other Canada is hardly Canada. If you lived here for a day, you'd understand.
I love St. Sebastian's. It's run by a group of French-Canadian nuns.
Samantha, ne pas de boys.
Hello, my name is Suzette. I live next door.
Yeah, man, I'm down bonjour, man.
Hi, I'm a French-Canadian girl down here on my vacation. It's a big deal for me to be down here on my own.
Extraction from where?
Montreal, long story, but my money and passport were confiscated.
Confiscated by whom? A herd of Quebecer whores?
I wouldn't say herd.
He was going snowboarding. He said that Quebec had the best snow and the prettiest girls there.
There's a lot of sexy babies running around
I
here.
know, dude.
A brothel in Quebec?
Place is up in Montreal. I checked out the website, lechateauparadis.ca. French-Canadian goddesses.
Have you ever traveled abroad?
Yes, one time I went to Montreal.
Beautiful city.
Yeah, I went there to see a prostitute that I've been talking to online. Turned out she was a man, and he beat the hell out of me pretty bad. So that's the last time I traveled anywhere.
Do you like to travel? Yeah. I went to Montreal not too long ago. Have you ever been there?
Yeah, I love that place. It's like the best food, and it feels like you're in Europe. It's so fun.
Fly to Montreal, hit a classy hotel bar, bone a stranger, slump over.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
You just need a win. Pick your easiest no-brainer case and work it till it's done.
Fine. Right after I do Rose's Montreal sex thing. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Following weekend, we get right in the car, we pop up to Montreal. Like another 7 hours.
Oh,
Speak.
we could stay in a cozy B&B with a fireplace.
Absolutely.
Meadow tells me that you're going skiing.
A friend of my dad has a house in the Laurentians near Montreal.
Saw pictures. There's this humongous stone fireplace.
You guys, I don't care what we do for my birthday, as long as it lasts the whole week and it's very expensive and inconvenient for all my friends.
But Maya,
I don't care that your dad's dying. We're all going to Montreal for the week.
Tu es bien romantique.
What does that mean? No idea. But French Canadian is the language of love in Quebec.
I don't want to name names, but one of our 3 children was made in Montreal. Rhymes with Joaquin.
So when you're thinking about the future and something big you want to save up for, you're thinking a trip to Montreal?
Yeah.
Bonjour, Montreal! We're in Montreal! I'm excited to chug a gallon of maple syrup.
We're in Montreal. It's beautiful here, and it's very romantic.
The natives are so friendly. This is Jean-Claude. He's French Canadian. Bonsoir.
Hi.
Bonsoir. Bonsoir. JC here has very kindly offered to show me how Canadians keep warm at night.
My parents took me to see Phantom of the Opera in Montreal, and I met the cutest guy, Etienne.
Bus 289 from Quebec, now arriving.
That's Etienne's bus.
Wow. I realized how much Canadians look like us. Welcome to America.
Female acrobats from Montreal. Super flexible. We are gonna get Cirque du Soleil.
What up? Hey, Jerry, you like cigars? Yeah, why? Because I'm going to Montreal tomorrow. They sell Cubans there. They're cheap. Hey, that might be a nice idea for George's wedding.
And you do not have a warrant to vandalize our house. When this is all over, you are going to be chalking tires all the way from here to Montreal.
Don't you threaten me, lady.
On the TV front, the reception's pretty much nil. Weather's right, you might be able to catch Montreal, but mostly you'll be limited to DVDs.
Blake, are you ready to get your copy of Ocean's 11 signed?
Montreal's back on?
Let's get set up for the secretary's next meeting.
With George Clooney.
The president's looking to make a change. He would like to offer you an ambassadorship to the International Civil Aviation Organization. Are you serious?
It's in Montreal. It's under the UN.
What are you doing in Montreal?
Giving me a lecture, McGill. What are you doing in Montreal?
Oh, well, I live here now.
I really want to go to school in Canada.
What? Since when?
Since now. There's this really great school in Montreal.
In Montreal?
Yeah, it's Paris of Canada.
Yeah, I know what it f***ing is. Please tell me that you're kidding. This isn't funny.
She just bought bus tickets.
So $122 gets you 2 tickets to either Niagara Falls or Montreal.
Montreal?
Hey,
Where's the bus to Montreal?
It's leaving now. Taking the 10:15 to Montreal.
Canada is beautiful this time of year.
Canada's closed, but Rikers is still open for business.
Find the 2 guys your buddy hired and put them down before they can talk.
Find them where? They're probably halfway to Montreal by now.
Friend June will meet us at the border. She'll drive us up to Montreal where we get onto a fishing boat which takes us up to Newfoundland.
I think we can get to Montreal in 8 hours. What about getting across the border? There's an Adirondack train in Vermont, so we can ditch the camper and jump the train.
This is the last call for train 32, departing to Montreal in 4 minutes.
We ain't done yet. The hell we ain't. We got Bart, the Soups, and the feds on our asses.
I'm going to Montreal.
Yeah, and how you gonna get your crazy-ass girlfriend over the border?
She has a name.
I can leave too, you know. My friend Hunter's in Montreal.
Do I know?
I know you didn't mean to do this, right?
I bought us bus tickets to Montreal. I told Natalie I could speak French. We could get a place there.
I think you ought to go away for a while. Up to Montreal or someplace safe.
Go away. Now?
Past that tree line, there's a road that goes through the mountains to Quebec. What if you just made a break for it? Chug it. There's serpents north of the border that'll keep you supplied.
Heading for the Canadian border?
Your husband know anyone in Montreal?
Oh my God. Susan and Brian Coyle just turned up south of Montreal. State police stopped them crossing into Canada.
Bring him back.
The defendant's a flight risk. He was arrested on a bus heading for Montreal.
What's up, Henry?
Going to visit a friend in Montreal.
Yeah, and I'm Dudley Do-Right. Get up.
The kid got snagged at the border.
With the courier? Where are they holding the kid?
Montreal Detention Center.
Prison tattoo. Canadian prison. Archambault up in Montreal.
RCMP tells me Henry Palaver was a guest of Bordeaux prison in Montreal from 92 to 97.
Son of a bitch.
We ran Sebastian's prints, no criminal record.
APIS doesn't include Canadian prints.
Armed robbery, assault, home invasion, robbery convictions in New York State, Pennsylvania, Florida, and Montreal.
Archambault Prison?
18 months for attempted hijack of an armored truck.
Thank you, Canada.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean they've gone back to Canada.
Montreal faxed us the driver's license photos of all 145 Anne-Marie Gautreaux in the province. Chicago never picked one as Mrs. Fordyce.
Au revoir.
Gabrielle Simone, Anne-Marie's attorney.
Oh, I might have known. A lawyer's a lawyer anywhere in the world.
And so's a cop.
My sister said that I wouldn't be charged with anything.
And you won't if you tell us where your husband is.
How do you say we're screwed in French?
It's on the fire escape.
Oh, you want to do the honors?
Avec plaisir.
Alpha and Bravo teams in position.
I need to be in Montreal in 2 hours.
What?
First available flight.
Got a commercial jet leaving out of JFK at 11. Get me on it.
All right. We're in the middle of an operation in Pakistan.
The hell's in Montreal?
You have a very unusual security clearance, Marta. You should expect that buying a ticket to Montreal without telling anyone would set off some bells.
Yeah. Trying to cooperate, it's just, we're going to miss our flight.
You should probably just send them on ahead.
We're staying together.
Well, you're certainly not going to Montreal with them today, miss.
Plane ticket, painting, it all points to Montreal.
Canadian travel says he flew to Montreal 9 days ago.
Transfer funds in the usual manner, half now, half on delivery, to the following address. Letterham Shipping, Montreal, Quebec, Canada.
He's moved on. I told you.
One moment. The only place we're sure he's been is Montreal. What if he started using the next identity there? Hayslip disappeared. That doesn't mean that Jacko did.
With a spoon. Have the Montreal police go through their logs for the last 48 hours.
Who's Alan?
Her fiance, or ex-fiance. They broke up a few months ago.
And where's he now, Alan?
Moved to Montreal.
There's a contract on us, you, me, and the squirrel. I'm gonna be as dead as you guys if I hang around here. I'm going to Montreal.
For what?
What do we do now?
We're going to Montreal. It's in Canada.
Yeah, no, I know where it is, but... Do you know someone there?
Nah.
How are we gonna cross the border?
I'll hike across.
It's like -50 up there. It's like 20 feet of snow. Dead of winter. Montreal's a terrible idea.
Montreal's terrible.
Terrible. Yeah, Montreal's a terrible idea.
So everybody's wrong about Montreal.
Montreal solves none of my problems. None.
Yeah, well, I'm not going back to jail again.
Have fun in Montreal.
Have fun robbing a bank.
The second briefcase contains business of my own I need to take care of. Bearer bonds, jacked from a bank in Montreal. Too hot to move in North America.
Yeah, we can handle it.
Max.
Voila. $4 million in your mint.
What are you into?
European antiquity, elegant. Unfortunately, it's become detained in transit a little. You don't want to know where? It's in the Montreal Customs House.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Wait a minute.
You used to tell me, steal outside the country, steal in the States, steal in Europe, but Montreal, live in Montreal.
I said a lot of dumb things in my day, didn't I?
Excuse me, gentlemen. This is a sonic radar picture taken from extreme altitude. It shows full details of the Martian nest outside Los Angeles. Montreal's blacked out. Nothing more's come through.
You're kidding me.
We'll have undercover officers watching you all the time. The best surveillance team.
We're still talking about the same guy who smashes in people's faces and cuts off their hands, right? C'est ça?
It would be a great service to the city of Montreal.
It is a very dangerous thing to do, but it is probably our best shot at actually catching this guy.
All right. But only in service to the great city of Montreal.
I want to ask you what part of the country you come from.
No part of this land. I originate from Canada. I guess where that is.
Well, I know where Canada is. I've been there myself. Montreal and Kingston and Queenston and a great many places.
Well, travel for a slave.
You like living in Canada?
No, I live here with my wife.
Feels like I'm signing my life away.
This is happening. This is our home. I gotta live here.
You don't. Not yet.
Right. Sorry.
50 years ago, if my father were told he could sit in Montreal and watch a World Series in New York, the exact time it was happening, he'd say it was impossible.
When I told him about my abandoned book, he said, "So, a Canadian who's come to French India in search of a story. Well, my friend, I know an Indian in French Canada with the most incredible story to tell. It must be fate that the two of you should meet."
Buongiorno.
What do you want?
I met your friend Mary. She said I should stop and see if you were all right. Apparently, we're neighbors. My house is 2 blocks from yours in Montreal. Cabot, north of Laurier. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
I'm really sorry I brought you here, Verona.
It's not your fault. And so this place isn't for us. So now we know. I think Montreal is going to be way better. And you know what I hear they have in Montreal? You know what they put on their French fries there? Gravy. Holy shit.
This is their house?
Oh, we went to college with these guys.
Hey, everybody. This is Verona and Bert. Your mom and I went to school with them. Say hi. Hi. Get yourself some pizza.
Pizza? This is the family I want.
Yeah, it works. It's real.
We should move here. Montreal. Think of that.
I'm calling a supermarket in Montreal.
Nice.
Bonjour. Je cherche des chips de la marque Hers. Non? Oh, merci quand même. Au revoir. Nope.
Sounded good.
Thanks.
Gloria, I'm back. You wouldn't believe how cheap cargo shorts are in Quebec. All our Christmas shopping is done.
3, 2, 1. Oh, boom! 24 hours is up. The found wallet is ours.
Let's pop this bad boy open and see what we've won, Mr.
Brian Lefebvre from Quebec. You lose.
Oh, shit.
Is that Canadian? Ah, throw it in the trash.
You went to law school?
For one day. I got kicked out for karate chopping my roommate. I know, I'm a stereotype. All guys from Quebec are good at karate.
With O'Brien's tour butt is that my man from Montreal is going to be filling in at goalie. Give it up to Zorro.
Oh, it's pronounced Zorro.
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 I don't know what I'm doing wrong here.
Wait a second. The Origins of Chewbacca exhibits in Montreal this year. Everyone knows that. Where are you taking me?
It is 6:31 p.m. in Montreal. The moon is waxing tonight.
What's that?
Woohoo! Maggie's talking!
What do you mean you have to go? Your short film is winning an award at the Montreal Film Festival? I hope that you go to a bagel store where they sell Montreal-style bagels and they run out of them right as you walk in. Sorry, I didn't mean that. Goodbye. About the new job, I'd already booked a trip to Montreal before I knew about it, so if I could just take a couple weeks off early.
Yes, of course.
They've got these great bagels.
Oh my God, that's them. Jean-Baptiste. Jean-Baptiste was born in Quebec to acrobatic parents. He trained at Cirque du Soleil before emigrating to Fort Wayne, where he used his French-Canadian circus stylings to turn the entire show choir world upside down.
Bonjour!
Oh, well, it is, of course, home to the world-famous Cirque du Soleil.
Cirque du Soleil?
Yes.
When they touch down, they must make their way to the Montreal headquarters of Canada's very own Cirque du Soleil. Here, they'll find their next clue.
We are doing something that no one gets the opportunity to do. Wow. We are training to be part of Cirque du Soleil, which is crazy. I just hope I survive it.
Whoa, what's happening? What are you doing?
It is now the home of my brand new French-Canadian circus-inspired Cheerio side project, Cirque du Soleil.
Finally, a circus full of whimsy and wonder.
As French Canadians, they don't believe in refunds or exploiting animals for entertainment.
Ale, riddle me this. What did Nadia Comaneci do when she scored a perfect 10 on the uneven bars during the 1976 Montreal Games?
Win a medal? Menstruate till her 20s?
She broke a record.
Since 1968, the 4 cities beginning with M that have hosted the Summer Olympics are Mexico City, Munich, Moscow, and which other?
Montreal.
That is the correct answer.
They put all of us in vans, and they drove us up to Montreal.
The athletes themselves get tickets. And so Bruce and Christy said, do you want a ticket? Heck yeah, I'm going to Montreal.
From Montreal, the games of the 21st Olympiad, an exclusive presentation of ABC Sport.
The Olympics are the biggest happening in the world. I got to witness how big they are, the pageantry, the history behind the Olympic Games. This is bigger than anything you've ever done in your entire life.
Springfield was shocked today to learn it will host the next Olympics. To honor the arrival of our foreign friends and enemies, Channel 6 is sponsoring a contest to find a Springfield Olympic mascot. The winner will join such other memorable mascots as the Atlanta What's It and the Montreal Vampire.
Hello and welcome, everyone, to the Orbit's World Winter Sport Games, here in beautiful Montreal, Canada.
Let's capture the dream. I love it. Where'd you come up with that?
I have no idea where I came up with it.
Everything they do is drenched in drama. Side-by-side gate clashes.
More sparks! Look at the athleticism here!
Fireworks display in Montreal.
They might be trying something I have never seen done. It is the fabled Iron Lotus. I never thought I'd see it with my own eyes. The fabled Iron Lotus. A historic event here in Montreal.
Scott, I seem to have wet my pants.
None of that meant anything. When Vince screwed me that day in Montreal, if you watch that match, it's a great match.
It's just a down and dirty fight between two guys that hate each other's guts.
I can see the timekeeper, and I see Vince yell at him, "Go ring the bell, ring the bell," even though Brett never tapped out. And he won't ring it. He's like stunned. And then I see Vince snap at him, "Ring the fucking bell."
And I'm screaming on the headset, "Why'd you ring the bell?"
They did it. They did screw you.
Brett obviously didn't like that.
I leaned over and I spit on his face. Bullseye.
Right into my eye. Damn, how do they do that?
I went out and broke all the monitors and smashed all them to pieces on the floor.
It was just chaos.
Vince said, "Look, he's gonna want to hit me," and I owe him that.
I can picture him walking in that locker room in Montreal.
Finally, Brett gets up, walks across the room. They all kind of meet.
Everybody's ready to pounce on me as soon as we grab each other. The only way I can get a shot in, one shot, is an uppercut. And I came right up between Vince's arms. You know, when you hit the bell and the thing goes up.
To this day, I have no idea how the punch got through.
He was out cold like a starfish.
Drilled him.
Vince had, big, nice shiner.
That night, I'm limping around and like, oh my God, stars are all over the place. That was the Montreal Screwjob, as it was called. And to this day, I don't regret any of it. The Montreal Screwjob was like a moment in time where you can see the shift, the landmass moving. You don't see it, but then there's a moment in time, there's a big earthquake and it moves a bunch and you go like, oh, I saw it. There's a seismic change.
The real life event that happened and the controversy afterwards led to the birth of a Mr. McMahon character that became one of the most hated characters of all time.
Is this the final nail, so to speak, in the World Wrestling Federation? Au contraire, we're just getting started.
Hey! There's not going to be any fight without Scott Riles and the incredibly polite Canadian news team.
What about the French-speaking Quebec news? The real voice of Canada.
Give it a rest, eh?
I like your ginger ale.
Hey, what happened to my poster of the Montreal Alouettes? It's signed by Mark Trestman.
Hey, that's my Canadiens jersey.
I see that you're a Montreal Canadiens fan, which means you hate the Edmonton Oilers, which is why you destroyed the Wayne Gretzky headshot. J'accuse!
They're talking about canceling Friday night's presidential debate.
Well, yeah, but then you'd say, well, there's only going to be 2 presidential debates. How can we do that? It could be a tie. Somebody has to win 2 out of 3, and then they advance to play the Montreal Canadiens in the semifinals.
The Canadiens are involved?
Mr. Trump, your Washington Capitals just won their first Stanley Cup, and that's great. But the Montreal Canadiens have won 24 Stanley Cups. 24. Thank you.
The fucking phone's ringing during hockey night in Canada. Calling during hockey night in Canada.
The Montreal Expos are just Canada's second best baseball team. Well, used to be.
The Expos moved? Check it out. I'm Toma Kazoka of the Montreal Expos.
Why are you wearing a Minnesota cap? Oh, I know it's Montreal Royals. Was the first minor league team that Jackie Robinson played for? I mean, you saw that movie with Harrison Ford and Chadwick Boseman.
Jackie, it is my pleasure to tell you that you have earned a place with Montreal Royals.
I won't let you down.
I know you won't.
Everyone I knew had heard the rumors about this incredible young piano player from, of all places, Montreal. Now, I must admit, back then, I didn't even know they had black people in Canada.
Multiple Tony and Emmy Award winner Christopher Plummer has been called one of the greatest actors ever to grace the stage and screen. He was a teenager when he stumbled into a local theater in his hometown of Montreal and immediately fell in love with acting.
I was raised in swinging Montreal.
Where?
Of the 30s and 40s. Beautiful Montreal. But what really made it swing was the presence of our two cultures and the astonishing amount of talent that they spawned.
William Shatner does not act his age. At 93, he still rides his beloved show horse in the same way he's lived his life, with uncommon talent and lots of gusto. Born into a Jewish family in Montreal, his career started early on TV and on stage.
But I was in a play when I was 6 years old and moved the audience, and my father picked me up and said, "My boy, Bill." So something made me continue on.
I live in California, but I was raised in Montreal.
It's like the greatest city in the world. Isn't it fantastic? That's where I'm from. Montreal? Montreal.
Do you speak French?
Oh, c'est bien, oui, je parle français. Avec un accent canadien, je suis canadien.
Oui! Formidable!
Do you still feel like a Quebec filmmaker? Yeah?
Frankly, my influence are still very French Canadian, very from Quebec. So I'm like, there's something about that I still feel it's in my DNA.
No, I love that you're still in Montreal, or like that's still so important to you.
But Montreal is like, for me, it's very important to stay in contact with that vibration. You know, it's like, and every time I go back to Montreal, it's like it's like creative fuel for me.
I don't know if we have had on The Tonight Show before someone from Quebec, Canada, a French Canadian. We have a young man tonight, an impressionist, and when you see what he does, I think you'll be amazed. His name is André-Philippe Gagnon.
You know love is all we need. We are the world. We are the children.
That's marvelous. Thank you. You said a little earlier today you were a little nervous about doing the show. There's no reason to be. That was a dynamite piece of material. Well, thank you very much. We'll be right back. Here we are.
My good friend Celine Dion is.
How were you two friends?
Way back to my days in Quebec.
Well, she's a huge star up in Canada, especially in Montreal. And she's making her first appearance here on American television tonight. Her name is Celine Dion, and you'll hear a lot more from her.
When you first heard her voice, David, what did you think when you first heard her voice?
Linda and I traveled to Montreal. We drove 100 miles in the rain to see this young 19-year-old who couldn't speak any English. You'd have to be an idiot not to get that this was going to be, and I told her shortly after that, I said, you're going to be known by your first name only, and you're going to sing with Barbra Streisand. I said that like when she was 19, and because I just knew it.
Can you do a Quebecois, like a Montreal accent? Because you're giving me young Celine Dion.
Oh my gosh, I get that sometimes.
I'd like to sing a song by the greatest singer ever from Quebec, Miss Celine Dion.
I'm excited that you're on this show first, because I'm sure you're going to be a huge star, and you can say, "Nya, we had her first," so that's great.
You trained, you went to theater school as well?
I did, I went to theater school.
In Montreal, was it seulement en français, or were you allowed to do it in English?
Yeah, it's the National Theater School, so it was half in French, half in English. I was in the English department. Okay. It was great, living in Montreal. I don't know if anyone is familiar with Montreal. It's one of the best Canadian cities.
Beautiful city.
Yeah, it is. And so to be exposed to, the Quebecois culture was great.
Sandra, hosting was just exciting in its own right, but she was a big deal for you, yeah?
She was a big deal for me. I remember seeing her in The Princess Diaries and thinking, who is that woman?
So you were born in Australia, grew up in Colorado, born in Australia?
Yes, and then Montreal was in between. So my dad and my mom met in China, then they moved to Brisbane. I was born there with my sister, and then we moved to Montreal, and then we moved to Denver. So I've lived in all these places that used to be owned by England. I'm a little Commonwealth baby. Yeah.
So good to see you.
I did not realize that you are Moroccan Canadian, yes?
Yes, my mom from Casablanca, my dad from Rabat, and then they immigrated to Montreal 40 some odd years ago.
Before you were born.
Right.
Casablanca is a real place, not just a movie?
It's a real place.
Now, where are you from?
I'm from Montreal.
Canada? Where are you from originally?
I'm from Canada.
Oh, great.
Yeah, from Montreal.
Montreal?
Yeah.
I love Montreal.
Who doesn't?
Oh, it's
amazing.
Fantastic. Montreal is the French Canada, yeah.
Yes.
Tu parles français?
Montréal, oui, je parle français.
Ah!
Et toi, tu parles français aussi?
Yeah,
that's
Do you speak French?
I do.
Do you speak the French Canadian French?
I guess so.
Yeah.
very it's very guttural French, but still, I mean, it's what I know, and I love it, and it makes me feel like I'm at home when I hear it.
No, actually, Toronto, I think, is a very international city, really, isn't it? Yeah, it's a very lovely place. Almost as nice as Montreal. I look forward to the letters, Canadians.
Four lovely ladies on a bachelor party who came all the way here to see Jimmy Fallon, so they're really excited.
Where are they? Oh, don't worry, he'll be here soon. Where are you guys from?
Montreal.
You're from Montreal, huh?
Montreal, yeah.
Oh, very good. And what, you thought you were coming to the Tonight Show?
Honestly, I'm a huge fan of you.
Well, maybe not huge.
You have no idea. And I told these girls, we have to go see Jimmy Fallon. Sorry.
Was there here's what I'm driving at. Was there chemistry off the set between you and Miss Lou?
I think we had a good chemistry. I mean, a lot of that stuff was improvised, actually.
Mm-hmm. And are you still in touch?
Yeah, I see her occasionally, yeah.
But I mean, and I've mentioned this before, oftentimes big stars, when they're working in a remote location on a film like this, where was the movie shot, by the way?
In Montreal.
Montreal, that's right, and a foreign country. And
I like Montreal. Do you like Montreal?
Montreal's amazing.
Oh, what a place, man.
I know, too much fun, too much fun.
Yeah.
But it's hard because of all the training you're doing, and it's got the best restaurants, the richest foods, great chefs and
That's not all they have in Montreal, though, is it?
No, I wouldn't know. I was too busy working.
Yeah.
What was the question? You asked me a question.
I didn't ask you a question.
I was in Canada, and I want to say hello to all of the wonderful people in Montreal. They're fantastic, and they love The Price is Right.
They're awfully quiet and introverted in Montreal.
You're like one of those ladies who go to Montreal, and then suddenly everything is about Montreal.
This is the place where you play basketball in New York. It's huge. Montreal, Madison Square Garden. You got it. Yeah. Come on. This is in Vietnam, the capital of Vietnam City. Montreal. Montreal.
Montreal, you said a couple of times, didn't you? You thought Montreal was going to be there. No matter what, I'm going to say it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is a total nightmare. Yep, that's Montreal. That's Montreal calling. Bonjour.
You're not the only forensic anthropologist in town.
Yes, I am. The next nearest is in Montreal. Parlez-vous français?
Bonjour, Montreal.
You're from Virginia.
Yes, you?
Montreal. Ever been to Canada?
No.
You'd like it.
Where are you from?
Montreal.
Why'd you move here?
Well, first of all, it's New York. For an artist, it's Mecca.
You look gorgeous.
Yeah?
This is making me want to go to Montreal right now.
Man, what is it about you in Montreal?
It's got Mile End, okay? One of the most cool and unique neighborhoods in the world.
Lacey LaPlante.
My boy said that it means the plant seemed appropriate.
Why not just call me Mary Jane Dealer?
What are these?
I'm from Canada. A.
If you'll excuse me, Logan Roy. Born in Dundee, Scotland, raised in Quebec by an uncle with a print shop and a few advertising billboards, made a decent way for himself these past 60 years. Fifth largest media conglomerate in the world.
My pop bought this place because it was close to Canada. He had ties in Montreal, you know, Tom. His father, my grandpa, come into the country originally through Montreal, illegally.
No kidding. You wasn't Ellis Island, your grandfather?
Nah, they ought to build a wall now, though. I'm telling you.
Amen.
Now, almost inexplicably, we have enough weapons to invade Quebec.
Wait, literally?
No, Krieger, not literally.
I don't know. I mean, it couldn't hurt, but...
Still talking about this, not invading Quebec.
Dear Neve and Cami, my name is April. I'm 22 and live in Montreal. This is technically our first Canadian episode.
Oh my God. Hello.
Hey. Are you in school, work?
Work almost every day.
What do you do?
I manage a dépanneur, so convenience store for any non-French speakers.
Dépanneur.
My French is trash.
You're right. I never raised a child. I was robbed of that when Eugene took him back to Montreal. When was the last time you saw Harpo? I'm sorry, Carm. Can we not talk about him?
Does Harpo know his grandmother died? Him I'll pay for. Bring him down from Montreal. He is your son.
Hal is on the pavers, Tony. He's, a street person.
Sorry, I didn't know.
Wonder where Harpo's eating his Sunday dinner.
What? Who's Harpo?
Janice's son.
You have a son?
You didn't tell us that.
He's half French-Canadian, Harpo.
All right, Tony. Make fun of a boy because of his name.
I wonder what's French-Canadian for. I grew up without a mother. Sacre bleu! Where is me mama?
I don't got a right to him. I'm the boy's uncle.
They put you on that bus for a reason. It was to find your brother. He's alive. He was smuggled out of the country and adopted by a family in Montreal. That's where he is now, in a hospital just like this.
I was on the Titanic. When I properly came round, they misidentified me as Canadian and shipped me up to Montreal.
I don't understand.
There was a Peter Gordon who worked with Patrick at the Foreign Office. Now, he emigrated to Montreal in 1913.
Yeah. When his face was blown away, he decided every cloud has a silver lining.
When I went to take Julia's statement just now, I saw her talking to Sean Wyatt, and he signed something that I didn't recognize, nor did he. Do you know what this means?
That means sweet pea in LSQ. It's Quebec Sign Language. Sign language is just like any other language. It varies by region, has its own dialect, slang.
Well, I know that, but Sean is from England. Why would he be speaking Quebecois?
Maybe he spent some time in Quebec.
His real name is Sean Wyatt LeBlanc, and he's not from England. He's from Canada, Montreal to be exact. And he lied about everything, including being deaf.
Turns out that Tess had a roommate at the hotel, Michelle Cormier, who nobody's seen in 2 days.
Okay, any chance she went back to Idaho?
Quebec.
Find her on the beach?
Tess's roommate.
Michelle Cormier?
Neck bruising. She was involved in a struggle.
Parents are flying in from Quebec City. Her mother, as it turns out, has never been on an airplane before.
Last sightings I have of Michelle was at opening night of Fashion Week. People saw her at the Canadian consulate.
Wait a minute, did you say Canadian? Here's what we do. Let's go pay our neighbors from the north a visit.
Same reaction as the water in Michelle's lungs.
Michelle was killed right here on these 10 little acres of Canada, right here in the middle of Miami Beach.
You are under arrest for the murder of Michelle Cormier, a citizen of Canada. Said crime perpetrated in Canadian soil at the consulate in Miami-Dade, Florida.
Canadian girl on Canadian soil. That's 2 out of 3. I'm still immune.
Actually, you're not. About 500 yards that way. You passed into international waters. The Coast Guard was waiting for you to make that mistake.
Finishing with the bombings?
No, but there was a threat implied. He and his partner knew they had to do something.
Who's his partner?
His cousin from Montreal.
I'm switching to the portable.
Olivia, what's happening?
Sweetheart, I need you to hold on right now, okay?
What is it, Liv?
Montreal SVU did a mailing to all precincts. Photos of a girl. Montreal SVU has seen her in dozens of shots, never able to identify.
I got it.
It's her.
Call Montreal, let them know.
Tawala entered the United States by car early yesterday morning from Quebec after a flight to Montreal from Bucharest.
I don't recognize any of these people.
Me neither.
Take your time.
Who are they anyway?
Family members of the other 3 victims, like you.
I'll be damned.
Fred,
How do you know these people?
we met on a cruise last month. Went up the St. Lawrence River in Canada.
Yeah, the boat docked for the day in Montreal, and the 5 of us decided to rent a car, go drive around the countryside on our own.
You rented a car in Montreal and left right away.
Everybody wanted to go see the leaves change.
These 5 people rented a car together in Montreal. Within weeks, all of them had loved ones who were attacked by our unsub.
This is the route they took. They stopped for lunch, then went back to the boat. Somewhere along the way, they encountered the unsub.
You do always find a way to make yourself useful, Archie. And I'm trying to get my old crew down from Montreal, but they've gone silent on me.
With all due respect, Hiram, you're all alone here. Your boys from Montreal, from New York, they work for us now.
I asked around, Archie, and it's true. Once a month, sickos from as far north as Montreal meet at that address to bet on dogs. That's where the ringleader lives.
Turns out they weren't local.
Why are you telling me and not Fred?
One of my guys says he knows him from a stint doing time up north in Montreal. pretty sure we both know who has business in Montreal.
Hey, what's going on?
I'm an agent with the FBI. We're investigating illegal contraband being shipped down from Montreal. I'm gonna need you to open up the back.
See, you don't want me to know what's in the truck.
Flat screen TVs, 50-inch plasma Philips. This guy's coming down from Montreal, but he got delayed a couple of days.
I got a garage right here.
Okay. Where's the rest?
But you don't trust me anymore, Mother?
This is Montreal, my friend. Strange things happen here.
As a boy of 10, my mother and father took me to Montreal. I'd never seen anything so beautiful and bright and big and wonderful in my life. But when night falls in Montreal, the monsters come out to play.
It's so quiet.
I like it. In Montreal, sometimes I can't hear myself think, but here, every thought is amplified. Where is Elle now?
Elle died in a shelter in Montreal about a year ago.
Fear is defined as a feeling of agitation and anxiety caused by the presence or imminence of danger. And whether it's a ghost, spirit, or an entity, they all feed on it. Take Maurice here. He's a French-Canadian farmer, had nothing more than a third-grade education, yet after he was possessed, spoke some of the best Latin I'd ever heard, sometimes backwards. The dark spirit made its home in this man.
And like that, an upside-down cross started to appear from within his body.
All right, Drew, you can hit the lights. Oh.
Tell me where she is, Agnes.
She's in Montreal.
Montreal? Why?
I don't know.
What we need to do right now is we need to pack. Make sure you get your passports. Get my passport.
God, it's like a prison.
Chantal? Hey! Dory!
Stay away!
Dory, come on. I love you.
No, Drew, shut up.
We just need to call the police.
No, we don't need to.
Yes, we do. Elliot.
You don't need to call the police, okay? You don't call the police when you've killed someone, okay? Was it?
I think that's good. I just keep Google searching, like, Montreal body found. I mean, aren't you guys a little freaked out about getting caught, like, any second?
The best we can do is just carry on.
Morning.
Morning. I got 5 in the car. We're just coming from Montreal, so we had a nice, quaint little weekend there. The French is confusing, too. You know, we were going to be busting up the Rosetta Stone.
You roll this window down?
Yeah, totally.
You know, it's kind of a shame that I never want to go back to Montreal, like, ever again. Thought it was really cute.
Yeah, I think I'll go back. Like in a few years, probably.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back.
I'm not going with you. Run, or disappear. Go where they'll never find you.
Come with me, Misha.
Attention passengers, the 11 o'clock train to Montreal is now boarding on track 16. Track 16, the 11 o'clock train to Montreal.
The possibility of an overnight train from Montreal to Boston.
Wow. In my senior year in high school, we took a bus up to Montreal. The seniors, this would have been way more fun. Take a train.
Montreal is an awesome city. It'd be great to have that access to.
Yeah, it's really fun, especially if you're a high school senior. It's really fun.
I'm so in love with Montreal. The crew was the best I've ever worked with, the most fun I've ever worked with. Montreal is it's an amazing city. It may now be my favorite city in the world.
There you go.
Rosie and I grew up there, so
Yeah.
we're a little impartial to
I
it. Yeah.
just love it. It's a really, really special place.
An incredible crew up in an incredible, beautiful city, Montreal, which I dream about. An incredible place in a great nation, Canada.
You speak of Canada. I used to live in Canada.
Oh my God, that's
yes.
awesome.
So you lived in Montreal
Yes,
where,
I did.
is it not perfect?
It's the perfect, I told my husband we need to get a house there. It's
Yes,
so yeah.
it feels very warm, welcoming, and there's so much culture.
The next guests are an acclaimed group of musicians from Montreal. That's a nice town. Mount
Very
Royal, beautiful.
cosmopolitan.
Yeah, it's a
Montréal.
fantastic place. And clean and nice, Montreal.
Oui, monsieur. That's the way they talk.
So great. It is so fun. It is a good time. Those supper clubs that turn into dance clubs past a certain hour.
Now, wait a minute. Now, are strippers paid hourly here? Is that right?
It's considered an art, a performance art.
It's considered a performance art. So
you pay per song.
You pay per song.
Yeah. That's why I go to prog rock strip bars, because the songs are super long.
And I'm a bit cheap. So is Quebec better than the rest of Canada? Obviously.
It's not that, yeah.
I mean,
Sure.
come on, Diplo. You didn't have to think about that long. No.
I'll be ready in a minute, Andre. I have to get these to my boss.
We have better healthcare, too.
I like it here, Andre. I like the U.S. I'll be right back.
Just come look at Montreal. America is dying.
Is passing a Medicare for all single-payer system a radical idea? I live 50 miles away from the Canadian border. This is not a communist society up there, Montreal.
Thank you so very much for being here. From Montreal, I would like to come to Montreal with you. You still live in Montreal? Paul and I will come up. We would like to manage the band. Yes, I don't know what arrangements you have now, but we'll kill that. Yeah. Paul and I will take over it.
In those days, it was unheard of to do what I did. Right. It was, oh, what is he doing? At the beginning in the audiences, there was one guy, a wise guy in Montreal. I looked at him, I said, sir, is that your wife? Guy said, yeah. I said, ooh. I said, she's a moose. Then I turned to the band. Am I crazy? You guys, take a look at me. They all stand up and go, ooh.
I'm actually gigging tonight.
Really?
Yeah. There's a big Montreal Comedy Festival audition coming up, and I'm actually headlining tonight, so.
Wow, that's cool. I haven't been to a comedy club since, oh boy. Actually, I was in Montreal, Canada last week. Beautiful city. I learned some French there. They're all bilingual. That's what amazed me in Montreal. I went into a Burger King. The Burger King employees are required to be bilingual. Just think about that for a second, folks. Have you been to Burger King in New York? Yeah, they're not even lingual here. No.
The New Faces of Comedy in Montreal can be the launching pad to unlimited stardom.
New Faces is the showcase of sort of up-and-coming stand-up talent.
It is the place to watch the superstars of tomorrow.
See, my first big check, I had been living in my car for 3 years, I was struggling. And I had went to Montreal Comedy Festival, and I entered this Just for Laughs Comedy Festival, and I killed. I mean, I killed, man. I had these Canadians screaming, man. And ABC was there, and ABC asked me to come to the Four Seasons Hotel on Friday. I had nothing, man. I went to the hotel room and they said, we loved you. We'd like to give you a holding deal. We want to pay you not to do business with anybody else but us at this festival. So I said, okay. A guy came out the back and gave me a check for $50,000. They didn't know, man. I had caught a bus up, crossed the border in the car, caught another bus. I didn't even fly there. That's how broke I was, right? And I gave it to my father. My father put it in the bank for me. And you had to wait 7 days for it to clear. When it cleared, I went to the bank and got the whole $50,000 cash.
For me, this festival made my career. I came here and I was poor, and I left here and I was never poor again. So I always come back.
This is the universe telling you, seize your moment, be a little selfish and pursue your career. If you get the Montreal Comedy Festival, it would change things for you.
Let's get this all out in the open. What else don't I know?
Nothing.
You might as well tell them about Montreal. Montreal? Nothing good happens in Montreal.
When I was 8 months pregnant with you, we went to Montreal for a wedding. I didn't know that I was going to give birth early. You were born in Canada. It's no big deal.
Oh my God, I'm Canadian!
So, about us, do you want to be my girlfriend?
Yes.
Nice.
But
Oh no.
I didn't know how to tell you this. My visa just expired, so I have to go back to Montreal next week. So I'm leaving the country. For good.
Another prank. Go ahead and say psych. Please tell me you're going to say psych.
I can't do that.
Oh man. There's no psych?
Fellas, he ain't coming back. You don't know that. I bet he flew to Quebec to bring us back authentic French-Canadian sugar pie. Oh, I can taste it already. Thanks for the sugar pie, Carl.
This is it. This is the place we always come when I was a kid, Fairmont Bagels. Every time we came to Montreal, so we can fight in public like a family.
It all started when my parents left Italy to come to America and settled in Canada. Destination, Montreal. And my father has yet to get over it.
Nobody told us it was to America. The real one, United States.
and the fake one, Canada. Then, to make the matter even worse, there's two Canada.
Later it says, look, man, you were fast on your feet. I saw that the way you handle that's perfect. He said, I want to send you up to our management school in Montreal. He says, Montreal? He says, yeah, Montreal. He said, that's Canada, right? He said, I'm not going to Canada. There's nothing but whores and hockey players up there. The guy says, my wife's Canadian. He says, what team does she play for?
And that's the terrifying tale of how the Quebec Nordiques became the Colorado Avalanche.
What are you talking about?
Stewie obviously learned to swear from some TV show.
The only show he watches is Caillou.
Well, then that little French-Canadian weirdo is the potty mouth, and I'm willing to watch every single episode just to prove it.
Why am I bald? I'm not a baby. I'm 4. Are kids just bald in Canada?
God, this is dull.
Okay, bye, you guys. I'm leaving now.
Peter, tell me again why you're going to Montreal?
Dad, why can't we all go? Because somebody's got to stay here and round up all these rattlesnakes. Bye!
Sweetie, you could still go to McGill, the Harvard of Canada.
Anything that's the something of the something isn't really the anything of anything.
McGill University, founded 1821, is sometimes called this, after a university founded in 1636. Mia.
What is the Harvard of Canada?
It is the Harvard of Canada, yes.
How did she do in school? Jennifer was a straight-A student. She'd already been accepted on early admission to McGill University in Montreal.
At this Montreal University, Wilder Penfield found you can stimulate the brain directly into a sense memory, like a burnt toast smell. Rotimi.
What is McGill?
Right again.
Dr. Barasini? Oh, yes, I know you. You delivered the paper on isomagnetic brainwaves at Montreal last year. No. I sold you your pants. Oh, of course. Good to see you.
Frankie Figs, Jimmy T. What's up, baby?
How you doing, man? Frankie? Welcome to Montreal.
What's up, bud?
Oz, you look worried. Now change your pants. We're going out.
He's headed to a museum in Montreal. I was thinking a goatee or clean shaven.
Give him a beard, and he'll look like you.
I have comrades in arms around the world languishing in prison. The following people are to be released from their captors. In Canada, the 5 imprisoned leaders of Liberté de Québec.
Hey, dickhead! Did I come at a bad time?
I had no idea Canada could be this much fun.
You still have options,
Yeah,
man.
like jail or Canada, and they both suck.
Montreal's cool. They speak French.
So learn French. Learn French or die.
Anything else?
No.
Which airport, sir? Go Bell.
Air Canada, jetliner service for New York Kennedy International Airport.
Lisa gave the doll to a man named Hendrix. She met him on the plane from Montreal.
The doll. Mrs. Rhodes' special made, handmade, made in Canada doll. Sam had it.
My Nathan has a fixation with Quebec, which we're going to explore.
That's awesome.
Nora and I are going to celebrate by going to Montreal after the trial.
Okay, that's random. Make sure you check out Mile End, though.
Yeah.
Pete's brother and his family are here. Oh, it's crazy.
So Trish is going to Montreal.
Montreal.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's right. Her family's there.
You have to run.
Wait, all you've been saying, like from the very beginning, was.
I've been saying that from the start. Okay, I was wrong. What?
I think I want to go to Montreal.
Every mile's 300, give and take, 300. Every mile's to freedom. We're going to Montreal! We're going to Montreal on a fire truck!
I think we're moving here. To Montreal? Yeah. We already won the competition. Over Madison, over Phoenix. Hell yeah! Woo! Woo!
Guys, that is wonderful.
Let's toast. Does anyone know a toast?
Okay, yay for Bert and Verona moving here. Probably if they're not stupid.
Yeah!
Montreal.
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 Montreal. Montreal.
Montreal.
Montreal!
Enough with Canada!
There's no Canada like French Canada. It's the best Canada in the land. The other Canada is a bullshit Canada. If you lived it for a day, you'd understand. I think you'd understand. You understand.
Nathan?
No. I'm fine. I'll be back.
Montreal!
Montreal!
How timely. You were born in Montreal, and we're celebrating Montreal. Am I saying it wrong?
No, you are the sweetest for even trying to say it. We pronounce it Montreal, like it's with a U.
Montreal.
And we always know if an American's like, are you from Montreal? Yeah.